Hello, we are here on Frostgiant Games. It is September the 13th. We are starting a little late in round 2, so we're going to have 3 games of Magic streamed. But we have Justin on 4-color Rhinos and Gus on Mill, and then Connor is also here.
Yup, that's me.
That's Connor.
That's Connor. Just get beat so bad round 1, hop in here with Zach, my best friend.
At least you lost to Amato, who also does commentary a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So they just got a battle to see who's on stream.
Well, and Amato's a good enough player. I'm not going to, feel bad for losing to him, right?
There was just so many stylish cards in that game.
Fancy.
It's like Celestial Purges, like full bordered, or full arts. Like, I don't know. I just love seeing him.
Okay, yeah, he's on blue-black.
He is on blue-black now, okay.
All the bridges.
The game I was watching play against Chrisman, I saw only islands in play. There's like 6 of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't really need or want many of the black cards against Tron, so... Oh, did Gus just say 5?
I think Gus going down to 5.
All right.
It's probably really rough against a deck with like Force.
In all honesty, this is probably not going to be good for Justin.
No.
The Rhinos deck has a couple weak points. One of which is you need to resolve a Rhinos.
Yep.
And if you get that surgical, or even in all honesty, if Gus can have enough velocity to just throw cards off the top of the library, you can hit 2 or 3 copies of Footfalls, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, I only have capacity to play 1 copy in the match. It can get rough.
Even just like a main board and snaring bridge, huh?
Yeah,
that's probably good enough. And a multi-5.
Right, I know.
Could have gone early.
The 4-color one does have Teferi to fight against bridge, and
Yep.
I'm not totally sure the build Justin's on, but Prismari Command can definitely be a card that can deal with a bridge in the main, and also just being really, really good in these sorts of matchups where, your creature removal's not amazing. You just have cards you want to filter through.
Prismari Command,
Oh, and look at that. Bottom card of the library right there is a Prismari Command. So.
yeah. I was going to say, Prismari Command is one of those cards that I know, like when people were showing, or when Wizards were showing the cycle of commands from that set, a lot of people were like, oh, all these are unplayable, But I think Prismari Command was the one point of contention, I guess, between people. Like, some people were saying it's good, some people were saying it's going to be absolutely unplayable, but, like, it does exactly what it needs to do. Sure, it's like a Caligan's Command, but you get to play blue instead of
it's got
black, which is huge.
It's got the best 2 modes of K-Command, right?
Yeah,
you have your Shock and your Shatter. The Treasure isn't amazing, but
it enables certain strategies, which I love. Like the creativity decks and whatnot. I love that it can support different archetypes. But there is Mesmeric here.
That's right. We'll see if that has a ton of impact here. I know that usually Mesmeric Orb is the slower matchups. It makes a big difference. Justin might have enough velocity to just not care about it here.
So Triumph. Gus is going to mill 2. Sadly, a surgical off the top. He ripped, but... Did Gus draw this Archive Trap this turn?
I think he drew an Archive Trap this turn, yeah.
Okay. I was like, why didn't he crack that off earlier? But...
It does have the Field of Ruin to enable it.
I was also not paying attention right at the beginning. What's up with the Violent Outburst?
What about the Violent Outburst?
It by the die.
Oh, that it got pitched to evoke Fury.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not even see the Fury. Oh, there's 2 more Furies.
Yep, sort of the big
Footfalls.
innovation in this Footfalls deck that, since the start of the format to now, it's just... Fury is at its best in the matchups where, it was just bad matchups that went underneath what the Rhinos deck did.
Yeah.
They're just too slow.
Is that Detective Pikachu? Oh my god.
I think that's Detective Pikachu. So we have some Rhinos in play.
Oh, I think it's double Archive Trap. Yes, If I saw it correctly.
Not sure that's going to be fast enough here,
Yeah.
though. It is a 2-turn clock we're looking at.
You can force Justin to search for land.
That might be the plan here. He's just going to archive trap off,
Yeah.
26 cards.
Yep. And to be fair, doing this will mean Justin mills one less card off this Mesmeric Orb,
Yeah, I
which
was
might
gonna
actually matter. But we're going to destroy this Triome here.
It does give Gus an extra mana to work with here
Yeah.
at sorcery speed. I don't think he has a crab or anything, but
So, I mean, double Archive Trap with some Mesmeric Orb triggers, because these Rhinos are going to attack,
yeah,
could be enough if Gus rips a spell off the top.
could be. Also, kind of worth noting that some of the more expensive spells in Justin's deck are already gone.
Yeah.
We've got 3 copies of Fury gone. That's the 3rd Fire Ice going.
Yep.
So, maybe a Tasha's can do some work here.
I think after double Archive Trap, basically Tasha's into like almost any board or any matchup would probably be enough to start representing basically dead.
The Rhinos deck is effectively, a million threes though. So it's the 4th Fury.
7, yep, 13.
This is again predicated on having Atasha's to work with.
Yeah.
But
Because Gus, I believe, just has a land in hand right now.
yeah, we might need to see an Ensnaring Bridge here. I don't think the library's low enough for Mesmeric Orb to put in the work on its own.
Also, do you think Gus plays a basic swamp? Because I don't know at what
doubt
world you
it,
wouldn't
yeah.
find it there if you did.
I would be surprised if he had a basic swamp. It just doesn't really cast anything for you besides glimpse.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And Justin might just choose to not play anything here. Just pass the turn, yeah. Don't want to mill anything more than you have to.
when we see there's a force and a blue card. So I think this bridge.
Oh, that's a bridge off the top.
Well, this is just gonna get
Force
forced, right?
negation.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, he said sure.
He can just bounce it with Teferi.
Yep. Oh, he has a Teferi in hand. He does have to mill. Yeah. Mill first.
You get a little bit
Yeah.
more information. Sort of sloppily going through the end of the game here. Doesn't really matter.
We could have just taken the turn, but that is one thing I see a lot. It's players like, you're dead, but it's like, Gus does get free information there. Like
sometimes it makes a difference. It's just easier to be, hey, look, you're dead here.
Mm-hmm.
There, I think it probably took more time to
shortcut that you're dead.
Yeah.
Because then you're sloppily going through the motions of like, oh, what do I actually have to do? Oh, I mill 2. Oh, wait, I have to mill 3. I still have to draw, make my Rhino. Like, he could have just taken his turn.
Could have just taken his turn. Oh, well, not
But
bad.
Gus getting the free information that... Because Gus is, to be fair, pretty new to Modern, so like every card you can see
every card
makes
matters.
a big difference, yeah.
Especially if it was, something that hadn't been seen milling before.
Did he see a Prismari command that game? I don't think he did, right? 'Cause we saw it at the bottom of his library, but...
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if there was a Prismari command
off of
in
Cascade pile?
Yeah, between the Cascade pile and the cards milled, almost for sure saw one.
Yeah.
Chances that it got noted as something relevant, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Your opponent goes through the Cascade pile. It's not necessarily...
Last cutting mill?
Okay.
So it looks like Gus was just bringing in Pithing Needle?
Yeah, Pithing Needle for the Teferi.
Yeah.
It's
not the best, but...
again,
it's something.
It seems kind of bad, I'll be honest. But not the worst thing.
I imagine Gus has all 4 copies of his Surgicals.
Yeah, so
that seems...
The Surgicals... I know a card that I've seen in mill a couple times that's really, really laser pointed at this matchup is what's the name of it? The Strixhaven Test of Talents.
Test, yep.
Yeah, where you get to counter an instant or sorcery and then get rid of all of them.
That seems so good here, yeah.
Now, I don't think he has any copies in his board because I think those would have been the first things we'd see.
Yeah,
in,
just
but-
immediately, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Test is a weird card, but I'm a fan of it. I can say, if you, as a person that plays Collected Company, if my companies ever got tested,
Well, that's just...
I would be sad. It's just like, it's just
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
It's one of those situations where if it ever... Like, Collected Company getting hit by Test of Talents, if that ever happens to you, it's like... It's really annoying because it shouldn't be in your opponent's deck against your company deck,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
if you win a game with it, you win a game with it.
I have seen it in main board, and, I feel
Main board's a little
goofy.
bit
It's
much,
aggressive.
but-
It's aggressive, yeah.
Well, is this historic? If it's... Okay, well, anything...
Shut your mouth, Connor. Historic is a real format.
We respect
Wizards
all
of-
formats here.
People play Historic more than... Oh, what's the format called? Frontier?
Pioneer.
Pioneer! So that's saying something, Historic's a good format, trust.
I have been thinking about Pioneer more than I would like in the past couple weeks.
Why, though?
With Keegan's work schedule changing, he can't make it here on Mondays and Fridays
Yeah.
anymore. So it's like, there's a Pioneer event that we can make it to.
In
We wanna play
Appleton,
more-
or-
Now in Oshkosh.
Oshkosh, okay.
It's like, if we want to play more Magic with Keegan, like, do I really
Mhm.
want to play Pioneer? But
Have you gone to one of these events? Like, does it fire, do you know?
no clue.
No clue, okay.
Like, I liked Pioneer a bit when it was new and fresh, and
Yeah.
Inverter of Truths was a legal card,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, Inverter was a weird one. I can say I enjoy the Pioneer version of Humans. I like Humans list where you can play Collected Company. But,
yeah, and Humans and Pioneer, isn't that just like an aggro deck? You don't have any.
yeah,
other-
it is an aggro deck, yeah.
Yay.
It was one of the first places I saw Abzan Falconer. That's why I love that card. Because it won me so many games I wasn't supposed to win. Big fan of it.
It's a cool card with Thalia's Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Right?
And when you're playing a Coco deck, it's just like, it can be lethal out of nowhere, which is, I love it.
Are there any other good humans with counters? Because you don't have Champion of the Parish.
You don't
You're
have
just,
Champion
like,
of Parish.
Kind of relying on Lieutenant.
Yeah, some of the lists play Luminarch Aspirant, but
Okay.
I never played Luminarch Aspirant in any of my versions. It was really just Thalia's Lieutenant.
Luminarch Aspirant is forever going to be a card in my mind that's like tainted by the knowledge that people wanted to play it in Legacy when it came out. So
Yeah.
all my my framework of thinking about the card is
It's like Delver. It wins the game. You just got protected.
so awful. But I mean, in lower power formats like Pioneer,
Glimpse. Yeah.
Glimpse,
no, it's
Glimpse is
interesting.
eating a force here, I guess. Justin's thinking about it.
Yeah. Hand of
Wow.
force. What are we pitching here? Looks like an agent in hand. I don't think you want to pitch that. We're going with Teferi.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. If it was... I would not agree with it if it was pitching Shardless, but... draws another one.
Another force.
But now I think the only blue card in hand is Shardless.
Yeah.
And this crap's going uncontested, I believe.
And it's awkward because this 4-color Rhinos deck plays, a bunch of copies of Endurance, but 2 of those copies of Endurance already got milled over by the Scrab.
Mhm.
So, Justin might be dealing with 1 more Endurance to draw,
Yeah.
maybe 2. And that, I think, is, we talked a little bit from the mill perspective, the sideboarding. But for Justin, I think the real big pickup is Endurance, and sometimes you just get all your sideboard cards milled.
Here's a push. An island. We're going to mill 3. There's a Rhino. Brazen Borrower. I love Brazen Borrower.
It's a cool card. I mean, it's one of those ones where I think it's right on the edge of being playable and modern, maybe a little underwhelming face up.
I think
but-
Justin has a Fury that he drew, but no red card to pitch.
A red card.
And
I mean,
I
at this
think he
point-
also has a Force of Vigor, but no artifacts or
Yeah.
enchantments. Try to just play everything for free.
That's
Kind
kind
of
of what this
pumping
Cascade
up.
deck does, right? The
Yeah.
Rhinos. I'm gonna play 4 Violent Outburst, 4 Shardless Agent, 4 Footfalls, and almost anything that lets me cheat on mana requirements.
So we're gonna find some Rhinos.
Yep. This is gonna be counterspelled though, I think. So
Yep. This crab, is it an 03 or 02? I can't remember.
that's Ruin. So that one's the Ruin Crab.
Yeah,
So
this
it's an
is
03.
03, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
so the Shardless Agent just gets blocked.
Yep. Oh, I thought he had a surgical for the Rhinos. Okay. But, okay, so normally that would go to the graveyard, but Justin
Yeah,
allowing
it's-
Gus to take it back.
It's a Monday night free
Yeah,
tournament
yeah.
where
We're learning.
Not the
Again,
biggest
we
deal.
are learning. Glimpse for 10.
there's the third Rhinos.
So that's 7.
That's the
Yeah, that's all the
fourth.
Rhinos.
All right, we're gonna have to win this game. Yeah, big sigh from Justin there, realizing it was the last copy of Crashing Footfalls. This game's gonna have to be won through Shardless Agent attacks. through, I mean, if he gets the 5 mana to cast Fury, that's not insignificant. It's also something that can't get Fatal Pushed.
Yeah.
But now the check here is
Block.
this block does lose it to Fire Ice, but I
Doesn't
mean,
matter.
just
Justin
make the
holding up
attack.
this counter spell. Did we see every copy of Fire Ice in the graveyard too? I thought we might have,
Not sure how many Fire Ice there were.
but we're playing a bridge here, and we're looking at the graveyard. We might get a sneak peek right now.
Well, I think he drew a Surgical, is why he's
Oh,
checking.
okay. 2.
2 Teferi's gone. I think that's usually all the Teferis.
Yeah.
2 Brazen Borrowers. It's the 2 Endurance.
Okay,
is
so there was
the-
just 2 Fire and Ices in the graveyard. Do they play 4?
Usually 4
Usually
Fire Ice,
4?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just one of the best 2
Options
mana
you have,
cards
yeah.
that's not really a 2 mana card that
Mhm.
Cascade sees. Speaking of, kind of tangentially. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
this is
Surgical the Endurance.
Heads up play
You saw
going
it?
after Endurance.
Oh, yeah, holding on.
I think this might be worth a force here.
Oh, 100%, right?
I mean, it's
Like, you're not going to win if you're just attacking with Charlie's agents
No,
for, like,
no.
8 turns, so... Oh, yeah, he's letting it happen.
I mean, we're one land away from Fury clearing out the
Yeah.
crab, and then the Shardless gets to attack, and you have 8 points of power in play, right?
Yeah, but
So-
you still got to find an answer for the bridge, too. Oh, yeah, in the hand... Okay, which is, yeah, the 2 Force of Negations
Okay.
that I definitely commented on earlier, but...
2 Force of Vigor, a Fury, and a Force of Negation.
To be fair, Justin has to hit a land to even...
That's a lot of Force of Vigor in his library. I mean, I guess it's very hard for you to beat a...
Okay,
to-
and it looks like there are 3 copies.
3
Okay,
copies, yeah. It's very hard to beat an Ensnaring Bridge with the Rhinos deck, but with Brazen Borrower and Teferi and Prismari Command, it's a lot of respect for Bridge.
Dude.
That's a 3rd copy of Force of Vigor. Or no, am I wrong?
No, I think that was Force of... Yeah, that's definitely Force of Vigor.
Yeah, awesome.
Also, so Gus did that at the upkeep. Is it better to do it in the draw step?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, no, against Endurance, right? 'Cause-
Oh, I get
yeah,
Endurance
if he,
specifically.
if he draws an
Yeah, yeah,
Endurance.
yeah. Flash. I always forget it has Flash. Because Fury doesn't, and that throws me off.
Card
So
is good.
we're passing here. So Justin does need to find a land
Yeah.
to even attempt to cast this Fury.
Mm-hmm. I mean, think about the world where, Fury has Flash, and that's just
That would be
terrifying.
Insane. Yeah. I'd be afraid to play Magic.
Like, how do you ever make combat into 5 untapped mana
Yeah.
against a Fury deck.
The draw for turn was Charlotte's Agent, so that feels bad.
Yeah, it gets to cascade into nothing. Might have to just play it here, though. Like, because your path to victory at this point is just attacking with Charlotte's Agent and Fury, so...
God, this is so goofy.
Although Gus is at 15, so... Yeah, I think
He's
Justin
got
might be
turn.
right here holding that back. Charlotte's Agent is probably relegated to Force Duty.
Yeah.
So what you're sort of scared of is, you know, you tap out for your Fury if you don't have another blue card, which
And he doesn't,
currently
yeah.
doesn't. Makes sense. And the Charlotte's Agent that's on board plus the Fury kills in 2 swings anyway, so...
Mhm. I'm just going to hard cast this Force.
Mhm.
Destroying Bridge. I mean, yeah. There's
Yeah.
no way to fight over that if you have a counterspell. Okay, but now we're going
Now
to
we
push
see
the
the
Charlotte's
push.
Agent.
And Charlotte's Agent is the best target left for Fatal Push
Yep.
in the deck, so...
And he draws another Charlotte's Agent.
This is sort of how Mill gets you against combo decks, right?
Yeah.
You rely on one card, and, you know, we...
Disrupted
talked-
the strategy.
Yeah. When we talked a bit about,
Oh,
you can
here's a
play
So this is going to be a mill for 12.
12 cards. And at this point, we might be
Yeah,
just a little
I think that's
bit
all the
too
Fire and
late.
Ice is. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Justin would win this game too.
Especially because Fury on its own is going to be, you know, a 3-turn clock here,
Mhm.
swinging for 6, and it doesn't even kill both crabs.
Yep. Prismari Command is castable, but yeah, no way to kill both.
Well, it's actually probably one of the better draws here, right? Because you can kill this Hedron crab, and then it gives you it gives you a treasure
A
token
treasure to cast.
to
at the
cast the
next turn,
Fury, so at that point you've worked your way through both crabs.
Yeah. There's Tasha's.
I think we're going to see Force Pitch Charlotte's Agent
Yeah.
here. Yep.
Kind of feeling like Gus should crack this fetch now, but
Well, if
I was surprised he didn't do it immediately. But
If you crack the fetch now, then you just get
Prismari commanded.
Prismari
Yeah.
commanded.
Well, that's why I was surprised he didn't do it at the end of his turn. I definitely saw him cast the.
Well, so the thing is here,
yeah.
if you think your opponent can have a removal spell for one of your crabs, you wait to crack your
Yeah,
fetch
right here.
until the removal's pointed at it, or at the very least, wait until you can get a landfall trigger on the
Yes,
stack.
and that is very correct. But when I saw him Force of Negation, I thought he paid for it. I thought he was shields down.
Yeah.
But you are 100% correct.
if he-
I'm just stupid.
If he forces and pays for it, then you just get the mill
Yeah,
for 6
yeah.
in while it's good.
But I was expecting him to just do it the turn it came into play, basically. Well, he was tapped out.
Yeah, but he does make a treasure.
Yep. Pikachu can really be whatever you need it to be in this deck, apparently.
And yeah, right. Just no clarity whatsoever. No using correct tokens.
Another Cascade spell. Woo!
Ooh. Is this
Honestly,
game, I don't know. I like using Pokemon cards as tokens, but it does annoy me more than a little bit when like
you use any Pokemon card.
just like anything.
Yeah.
And I realize the rules say you can use anything as long as it's, you know, clear to both players.
Yeah. But I like when I see you play and you're cycling your Shark Typhoon and you put down a Sharkpedo.
Yeah,
when,
but
when I see a Rhino,
Rhino's a
Pikachu, and then like this treasure is a Pikachu.
Like Rhydon exists if you want to use Rhydon for your Rhino, that's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want to use any grass type Pokemon is green for a green token.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine. But like
Dude, you can stretch it. You can really stretch
you
it.
can stretch it, but I think that Detective Pikachu as a Rhino might be a street too far.
So,
There are two
this is
archive,
Dark Sleek Shores, and I think Gus has a Hedron or an Archive Trap in hand.
two archive traps, I think.
Yeah, he is just stuck. You know? Oh, I mean, Violet Outburst is lethal.
Represents
Surprisingly.
lethal.
So, wow, is he actually winning this game?
Yeah. It's like, what, maybe
Wow, that's depressing.
15-ish cards left.
Oh,
Not a ton.
he has a Fatal Push that he can't kill. Wow. But, you know, I guess I'm just stupid for thinking that game was over.
Gus had a lot of really dead draws off the top there.
I mean, to
so-
be fair, Justin did too, but
I mean, even just an untapped land instead
Yeah,
of
any
a
on that-
backstep that might have done. I don't know how many cards, but it
oh
was
no,
close.
there was not 13 left. That would have done it.
That would have done it.
Yeah, I believe he showed like around 9 to 10 cards, so like it would have been enough for sure.
Man.
But thank you for watching. We'll be right back. Okay, we are here with round 3. We have Amato on Monkey Blade, and we have Lincoln on Monkey Saga, which is basically Jund. It's Jeskai Control with Monkey, then it's Jund with Monkey and Saga.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
So this deck is, it's doing the Ragavan, Dragon Rage, Channeler, Tarmogoyf kind of thing. And then you can just fit Urza's Saga in.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be, you look at it, face value, it's like, oh, if I play an Urza's Saga on turn 2, I can't play Renin 6 then, and if I wait till turn 3 to play Saga, that's also bad.
Mm-hmm.
Those cards are still pretty strong together, Renin 6 picks up Urza's Saga.
Yeah.
Gross. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit slow.
So both players mulliganing. Lincoln revealing a Loris. That's cool. I like Loris. Do you like Loris?
So there's an interesting question here in Modern, whether or not you should value deck diversity or card diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Because Luris goes in a lot of different decks, right?
Yep.
Luris goes in Hammer, Luris goes in this thing, Luris goes in a lot of different places. But at the same time, you're seeing Luris a third of the time you sit down to play Modern.
All these different Loris decks, but it is still just Loris.
But they're all different, right?
Yeah.
So do you care that everyone's playing Luris, or do you say, oh, well, there are so many different Luris decks?
I'm kind of on the so many different Loris decks.
Oh, I hate the card.
Just like Saga, I like Saga. I understand it with being banned, but it's just like all these different Saga decks. I'm looking at Jund Saga. I'm looking at Affinity coming back. Like, I like cards that enable strategies, so meh.
I think there's a line sort of between does Luris enable these strategies and does Luris just not let you play other cards in these strategies, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was a while ago I was talking to someone about Plague Engineer in Modern, and like seriously, when was the last time you saw a Plague Engineer?
It's been a minute.
Because every deck that would want to play Plague Engineer just play Luris, right?
Stoneforge for Batterskull, but yeah.
Batterskull,
Just
interesting.
Loris. I think it might have been thinking or Amada might have been thinking there's no way the Stoneforge lives, so you might as well find something that's castable in the future, but
it's tough to go straight to Cauldron knowing it's dead. But I don't know. I kind of would have liked to see the Feast and Famine there, maybe.
Yeah. He might also have one of those in hand already. Sure. I didn't get a great look, but...
And the Feast and Famine
he doesn't. He definitely doesn't, but...
Feast and Famine can also be a tough sell if you don't have another creature lined up.
Doesn't have a land.
It doesn't have a land. It does have, Batterskull is going to be in play now, and that can be problematic.
Maybe make some treasures off of this monkey.
The Ragavan, yeah.
We have 3 in the graveyard right now. That's Delirium, right? Creature, artifact.
Unholy Heat, instant, sorcery.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's Delirium there.
Unholy Heat in Historic, by the way.
Wow.
Tops.
Wow. I mean, at least in Historic, I assumed that, no fetch lands, no Mishra's Bauble. I mean, especially no fetch lands. You're working a little bit for Delirium.
Well, yeah.
I think cards that people don't talk enough about having warped Modern since Horizons 2, Unholy Heat is up there.
Yeah, Unholy Heat's been amazing. I think people would say it is the best card that was put into Historic, and it's not even at full power in that format, so that's saying something.
Really, best card in Historic?
Or best card from the newer set. Yep. Which is like 3 different sets in one, basically.
That's fair. Yeah, because it was Jumpstart packs how it came out, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, not packs. I believe so. When the new Jumpstart set came out, cards from Modern Horizons 1 and 2 were added to the format. They were not in the Jumpstart packs themselves, so you had to craft every Modern. What did I just watch? Batterskull into Cauldron?
Amato drew the Cauldron off the top. So Lincoln saw his hand with the Inquisition, saw no Cauldron, and just
scooped him up.
Ripped it off the top.
Well, to be fair, you can't beat that, right? Like, even if Amato's stuck on 2?
No, you
that's, like, unbeatable for Lincoln's deck, I feel.
I mean, the way that Lincoln has to beat a Cauldron basically involves either racing it or if you outsize it with constructs, right? You just... if you play this game where Amato has Cauldra in play, but the Urza Saga constructs are big enough that Cauldra has to block. Then, well, you can sit on your hands for a while, and at that point, you can get a Renin 6 going. You can maybe be attacking with some Dragon Rage channelers that fly.
We're talking like constructs with Shadow Spear equipped to them, right?
And not even with Shadow Spear sometimes, right? Like, even if you just get a couple 6/6s.
Well, I mean, like, they would still be exiled, right?
Right, I just mean, sorry, like, if the constructs get big enough where Cauldra can attack and not kill Link in that turn, the threat of them attacking
Yeah. I was going to say, hey, it's relevant if it loses indestructible from the Shadow Spear and Unholy Heat, but yeah, definitely.
Even just, say, a pair of 4/4s, right? You attack for 5, you get attacked back for 8. That can be kind of nasty.
That's rough, yeah.
But yeah, Shadow Spear can... Depending, it's unclear how many cards in Linken's stack actually can kill a Cauldra. Even if there is a Shadow Spear involved. I mean, even with the Shadow Spear, the constructs still lose to the first strike, right?
Yes, they lose to the first strike. Yeah.
Tough card for Linken to answer. End of the day, as 7 mana cards typically tend to be. Actually super curious to know with the little bit of the under the hood peek we got at how Modern Horizons 2 was tested and some of the cards that changed. I think it was
Keegan was talking about that the other day. Sam Black, right?
Sam Black was posting some stuff on Twitter. I want to know how much they tested with Cauldra Complete and Stoneforge Mystic, because there were some gaps. Obviously, I'm of the opinion that Stoneforge Cauldra is super fair and fine for Modern.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say, I think the general consensus when that card was spoiled was that it was fine and it wasn't as good as Batterskull. But in certain matchups, it's like, it's rough in the main board. Like, you can't beat it sometimes. Like, Link is going to keep him out, he's going to maul. But,
good to be up cards. This is also the game...
Pirate Spellbombs came in. Or are they normally in the main for this list? Okay.
So typically this list you'll see obviously the Mishra's Baubles. You have Shadow Spear to get Pyrite Spellbomb, and then your Nile Spellbombs and Pithing Needles can be somewhere between the maiden side, usually the sideboard. But
let's start with the Inquisition. Oh my God!
Now
Sanctifier 3 bolts.
There were 2 lands in hand that I saw there.
So Lincoln's still playing with Perfect Information. That's the land Amato drew.
But Amato's lands were Steam Vents Island. Steam Vents Island, and Lincoln has the Pyrite Spellbomb, because Pyrite Spellbomb kills
that, yeah.
And I think that might have just been a visceral reaction. Oh no, it's the card with protection from my deck. I better take it.
Also, you see 3 of a repeat card. That's also is like... you hate to do it, but...
I mean, like, is there a world where you care about 3 lightning bolts but not 2? And his Renin 6 is probably getting double bolted.
Yeah, he is. Oh, snap the jaw. Do it again.
Renin 6 down. Still no white mana. Let's have another bolt and a snap bolt.
Yeah, that's a hand.
Got a Saga, Ragavan, Mishra's Bubble, Pyrite Spellbomb.
We're dashing the monkey. Got a white source.
At least it wasn't a castable good card here. Yeah.
Inquisition again. Take the
take the Snapcaster.
Yep. Force you to bolt the monkey.
It's a counterspell.
Ooh.
Counterspell is not the card you want to be drawing when your opponent has, sort of on board this Urza Saga making a lot of pressure.
Yeah. He's taking up his next couple of turns.
I mean, I just don't think Lincoln's going to cast a meaningful spell here.
Yeah.
I mean, we might see the Pyrite Spellbomb. We might see Mishra's Bauble.
And there's a Spellbomb.
Nothing worth a counterspell. So.
So Spellbomb Bauble puts this Construct token out of range of Bolt, which is definitely the line you make.
Huge deal. There's a white source for Amato, but it's not super clear what his line is out of this. Like, how does the game shake
Okay,
out?
yeah. We're just scooping it up. There's no world
That
you'll
might
beat two
be-
constructs. Maybe if Lincoln played a monkey and then made a construct and you could bolt it before he untaps, but like
Yeah.
Lincoln just playing around the ball. I mean, perfect information since the start of the game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
These are some fast games. We're going to game 3 with
Yeah, game 3.
41 minutes left.
9 minutes, 2 games. I've seen faster, right?
Yeah. I mean, on stream, we've seen some.
Now, between these two decks, they're not the fastest decks in existence,
Mhm.
but 2 quick ones. Can't deny that.
Yep.
And I was going back to the sideboard. Might be Oh, wow. There are no wear tears. Did he see a Saga game 1?
Yes.
He did? Okay.
Yep. We're talking about Amato, right? Amato saw those?
Yeah. Amato saw.
Yep, just in that last turn.
I guess it's a little bit tough to, bring in your wear tears if Urza's Saga is going to be the only real profitable target for them. But it's so good against Urza's Saga.
Like, question while they're sideboarding. How do you feel about Midnight Hunt as a whole now that it's done being spoiled?
I think that it's refreshing that now it seems like we're back in the zone of, a standard level set is going to come out and maybe have a card or two for Modern.
Yeah, a little higher power level.
Well, no, like considers a little lower power level, right?
Oh, a little lower, you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. Well, because, if you think about the cards, considers fine, not knowing the name of it, the 2 mana sort of better / side grade timely reinforcements.
Oh, yep. That sometimes can draw a card, and the effects are a little less. 2 guys, 3 life, was it? Or
2 guys, 4 life, and
4 life.
Yeah, so it's 2/3 of a timely reinforcements for 2/3 of the mana, but then it's got draw a card tacked on.
So more situational Modern cards.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. That one. It actually makes me a little bit sad because I love playing with Fact or Fiction, but I don't know any card names from the new sets. The 4 mana, look at the number of cards equal to the mana spent on it and pick 2.
Okay,
then it has flashback for 7.
Yep.
That card might just be better than Fact or Fiction for Modern, which hurts to say.
Yeah. People were excited when they got to see that come on Modern Horizons 1. Fact or Fiction.
Fact or Fiction, whoa.
Oh, is that a 0-lander for a Modern? No, he has 2 lands.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, what?
2 lands to 6. Probably has more than 2 lands. I think I saw an island go down to the bottom. Yeah, so 2 lands, Stoneforge Mystic, Bolt.
Find his Triumph, so that's good.
Pretty reasonable for a 6-card hand.
What?
Gonna put Lincoln on sort of a check here for do you have an answer to Stoneforge Mystic, and then we still get to play
Proceed in
the
the
game past
game,
that,
yeah.
right? An expressive iteration even.
You want to know one of my favorite things about Modern? Or just like Modern existing, previous versions of Modern with newer standard cards. Whenever there's a spell that's red, green, 2 colorless, people always compare it to Huntmaster. The file like, is it a better Huntmaster? It's my favorite thing in the world because people are saying that about the new Arlen, the 4 mana.
Really, that card's just bad, right?
No, I think the card's way better. I think
to-
the card's way better than Huntmaster is. To be fair,
Well,
like
not
absurdly
like that's a
better. But
hard bar to clear in
Huntmaster
Modern
isn't good
nowadays.
anymore. But the it's still a thing. It's like, is this better than Huntmaster? I personally think it's way better than Huntmaster.
Voice of the Pack, Moon's Fury.
Oh, that might be the one.
Yeah. Let's see.
If you compare it directly to Huntmaster, I don't think you can think it's worse.
Are you sure this card is good?
I'm talking about a situation of Huntmaster. Like, you play a Huntmaster, you make a wolf.
Yeah.
You play Arlen, you make 2 wolves. It's at 1, it still has to be answered. Because if you untap with Arlen in a creature deck, I don't think you can lose the game.
Really?
Because you guaranteed flip it, and you're able to cast your creature spells with Flash, and they get additional
Until your
counters.
next turn, you may cast creature spells that add Flash. Each creature you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. Yeah, but is the back half good? Like...
I think the back half is better than the flip side of Huntmaster. In a tunnel world, with Huntmaster in the decks that you play it, I think it is better. Hey, making
it
making a wolf, making two wolves, and having Arlen at one. I'm a big fan of.
I mean, a pair of two. What's the name of the chariot? Eska's chariot?
Oh, it's good that they make two cats, right?
Enters the battlefield, makes a pair of 2/2s, and when it attacks you make
you
a
copy?
token that's a copy. It's like the same kind of thing as Arlen, right? Like, I don't know. Now,
If we're comparing Huntmaster and Arlen,
I guess I think you take a step back and you're like, Huntmaster versus Arlen, what's the better card for Modern? It's like, okay, fine. What's the better card? Dissolve or dissipate for Modern. Like,
Dissolve or dissipate.
To either one of these things matter.
I love Dissolve. I miss Dissolve just because I miss the promos. I really like the promo Dissolve art, honestly, but...
That's a reasonable one. Like the Theros Age F&M promo.
Yep.
I mean, I'll like anything.
I think we're on another 2-lander, basically. Didn't draw an extra one.
I mean, I think intentionally a 2-lander. He put an island at the bottom on the mulligan. Amato's going over now whether he wants to Wear Tear the Saga now.
Yeah. Stoneforge. Batterskull.
Stoneforge is going to run right into a Pyrite Spellbomb.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just sort of the level 0, right? Like on board it runs into that. Does take up Lincoln's entire turn here. I don't think he has a third land either.
Flow to colorless.
Doesn't have a third land, doesn't have a green land for Tarmogoyf. Oh,
He has to go to draw. Yep.
Which, by the way, is one of my least favorite parts about sagas, and I've probably said this before.
Having in the main phase?
Yeah, it just feels like the sort of thing that happens in upkeep, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's 100% a safety net, right? Like...
I mean, a safety net for what?
Newer players. But to be fair, sagas, as like an experienced player, were the most confusing thing in the world to me when they came out.
Just nothing...
It's where after your draw, like... It wasn't not super clear.
And I also think the fact, like, putting a counter on sagas not being a trigger, I realize that has to be a thing from, words that you can fit onto a card perspective, but...
I do think it happening in the main phase did lead to more design space for the cards, because you're able to, like, have cards make mana, you're able to have cards, like, Saga producing mana, but, like...
That's fair. It just feels so...
It is goofy.
Weird.
I think sagas as a whole are goofy. I enjoy a lot of the sagas that are in existence.
I also kind of hate, sort of... I don't know how to articulate this, but just... things that add rules baggage to Magic.
Oh, okay,
okay. I actually was just thinking about
like
this.
changing, like new cards that are changing old rules because of how it functionally works. Are you saying, or
sort of? But all these weird things that you have to track. Specifically, it's on my brain from Daybound, Nightbound.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in Modern. There can be one Daybound card in your deck. You play it, and then you just have to track it for the rest of the game.
You are responsible for it.
Thing
it's like
true.
an interactable City's Blessing, which is goofy. At least City's Blessing was like, this is a state of the game now. No more work has to go into it.
Yeah, but those like City's Blessing, Monarch, just cards that just change the way the game happens.
So we end in the Tarmogoyf. But yeah.
Yeah. I think Tarmogoyf, you can point that at the needle and put Batterskull in play. I guess you can't this turn with 2 islands, but Tarmogoyf is outsizing a germ anyway. But no, with sagas, because like sagas have a rule in the comprehensive rules.
Mm-hmm.
Putting a counter on it isn't a trigger. That's part of the card.
It's just something that happens.
There's a thing in your main phase that says, same as you draw a card in your draw step, you put a counter
on all sagas you control. It's so goofy, yeah.
I mean, functionally, it doesn't change that much.
No.
It just adds so much.
It's only relevant when there is a saga in play. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting that Renin 6 picked up a fetch land here, not the saga. Lets you put this channeler in play a little bit. Lets you put the channeler in play instead of the saga this turn. That explosives on 0 is kind of making construct tokens look unappealing.
Yeah.
Amato's also been through 2 copies of Prismatic Ending in the past 2 turns.
Yeah, it's
so
nice. Like
hard
normally,
to answer this Ren.
yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of actual threats have been coming out that need to be answered. So a good diversity of things too. But we're gonna blow up the Pithing Needles, activate Stoneforge, Cauldron complete, hit ya. Ooh, we're gonna be going down to 2 here.
Going down to 2, Amato has a bolt in hand. Who cares about Ren in 6?
I mean, you just block, right? Oh wait,
I mean, Lincoln just knows he's.
oh, he has the bolt. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if you block this, you're not winning, and he knows about the bolt.
Yeah,
from the
he knew
Thoughtseize,
about it, yeah.
So
or the Inquisition. Right, turn 1. Are we talking?
it was a Thoughtseize this game.
Oh, was
right?
it a Thoughtseize this game?
I think so.
Goofy. Okay, yeah, you're probably right. I'm
Something,
stupid.
some discards.
I'm a fool.
I've been rambling too much and not paying enough attention.
Yeah,
to the
that's
game.
true. I was talking about things that mattered, like Arlen
Things that
Cord.
matter, like Arlen, the modern unplayable.
Yeah, yeah. Is it modern playable? Who knows?
No.
Hey.
Modern unplayable.
Let's just wait and see, Connor.
All right.
Let's wait and see. I'm probably gonna
You show
pair
up,
up a GP or something
You
with
show
it.
up in 2 weeks and beat me with Arlen in your deck.
Hey,
Hey.
it might happen. What does the motto do about it? What does the Monkey Blade do? They lose.
Yeah.
Crazy. Counter. Nope. Okay, but thank you. We'll be back with the next round shortly.
Oh, we're okay.
Hello, hello.
No one
I
hates
just clicked
Hoogland
it.
here.
Hoogland, haha, what a person. Amato back on camera again. Same thing with Justin Brickman. Oh, I just put Brickman.
Wow.
Put Justin.
Wow, everyone knows his full name.
Yes, that's
Wow.
him. I doxed him.
Here's his address.
Nerd Rage Gaming, you say?
Wow. And he does like to bring that up a lot.
He does bring up Nerd Rage quite a bit. You know, free advertising.
That's right. We allowed to say that name on the Frost Giant Games stream?
Probably.
AJ's gonna come and kick in the door. I heard a different game shop.
Are you talking about Nerd Rage? You're dead.
Oh, I just started the timer. I don't think these guys are going to time.
No. They each took one game action, and then I got the timer. I'm 5 seconds behind. Dang it.
Gotta get on that.
I love suspending a Rhino's turn one. Like,
Yeah.
just like it naturally coming off, it's fine.
Right. I mean, it's not the worst if you have it on like turn 1 or
Yeah.
turn 2. So I know that for a long time, when the only place you saw rhinos was the Electro Dominance balance deck.
Yep.
It's like
I missed that deck. I miss seeing it.
It's kind of, now that you have another Cascade spell on Chartless Agent, trying to jump through those hoops and different tricky ways of casting, it's just worse than Cascade, you know?
Has Aspertold gone down in value yet? Is it still super expensive?
Magic players have a lot of price memory, so who knows? I mean, I would expect that it's gone down a little bit, but
When it was like $40, I was like, this is a joke. I had a play set from Standard.
yeah,
but
I thought about selling my
we're gonna
playset.
fire the
but
Stoneforge. I just like the card. I think the card's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a cool
Amato
card.
stuck on 2 again. Drew to Fairy
Uh-oh.
for turn.
It does have a counterspell, though, so, you know, if we see, super rough that it's a violent outburst that Brickman has here, just because that sort of taxes the mana.
No.
Play 2 things worth
Yeah, you can do it
countering
at
in one
instant
turn
speed.
cycle.
Yep.
Still no land.
Pass and turn.
We're going to see... It's interesting here. You can choose to go for the Violent Outburst here. I don't know if he has a Shardless or another Outburst to untap into. I assume he does if he's going for it now, or barring... Okay, not
just
going for
with
it
the
now.
top land. That's fine.
Yeah, because if you don't have another good 3-mana follow-up here, like Teferi or another Cascade spell, you want to sort of force the action on Amato's end step when you have a Footfalls ready to come down.
Yeah.
Sort of
Another fire nice.
the utility of doing things on your opponent's end step to force action out of them doesn't actually mean anything if you don't have a turn after to follow it up.
Here's a land.
That's good. Still gonna be
Oh,
still gonna be rough here.
He's incentivized to just slam this to Fairy, but it's probably not going to be good for him.
Well, if
Because you're just playing around Pact of Negation, right? Or Force of Negation? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the worst the worst thing that can happen if there's no force is, Teferi resolving into, bounce one of the rhinos. The other rhino's going to kill Teferi, but it does stop the outburst on the upkeep.
Yep,
or
which
the
is huge.
suspended one on the upkeep. There was a force there, so Amato would have managed to get a good situation. Although I assume
Archmage Chop and
that
Steel.
force might have been drawn if he didn't want to fight over it. Hardcast that first Footfalls.
I love that this Rhinos deck is a thing. Like, Rhinos is just good enough to build a deck around. I guess the Cascade Mechanic's just good enough to build a
Right.
deck around, but
It is built around that in a sense, but also the deck does have not ideal functioning, but you still take you still do stuff. You still take game actions without Crash and Footfalls being involved.
I'm going to force a negation. Get rid of this Teferi. Prismatic Ending one of the tokens.
Okay. Got a Prismatic Ending. We've got a couple Archmage Charms lined up against maybe the next Rhino. I was definitely on the back foot here, but not out of it.
Pass the turn. Brickman running out of cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Another Archmage Charm to draw. Jeez. We can steal 3 more rhinos if we wanted to.
Well, there's going to be possibly 3 more rhinos this game.
Perfect. Pass.
And now here it's Amato's turn to line up the interact on your turn.
Yep.
Have all my mana. I think
Got enough lands.
Going to see this Archmage Charm get fired off.
Have to take the rhino. Brickman has a Teferi of his own.
Teferi. So Teferi bounce the rhino isn't too bad.
You went with an anger.
Just gonna fury it.
Or fury.
Yeah.
I said anger. Wow.
No, he's way more mad than just
Yeah,
anger.
yeah, he's furious.
Speaking of anger, you see what's the name? The 3 mana red white legendary, 3 white legendary from the new Innistrad set. Yeah, he like doubles your non-creature damage and prevents
yep.
I saw that card and I'm like, oh, it's a 2/3 flying haste that stops.
I like Legionnaire, but beefier.
Well, it stops your other stuff from getting damaged.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, wow, this is kind of like
Tajik.
Kind of like Tajik for humans, but this one you can find with Imperial Recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait, hold up. When was the last time I saw someone playing Anger of the Gods in Modern?
Yep.
The threats all just kind of outsize it now.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an Anger of the Gods and your opponent has, 2 Rhino tokens or has, I don't know, a Murktide Regent.
Suspend another Footfalls. That's a fairy here from Amato would be very good.
Very good. I think he has it too, so.
Oh, yep. Some would say it would be the best thing in the world with 1 card in Brickman's hand. I think that is.
Now, the rough part is, whether in play or just coming down again, Fury's going to take out this Teferi, but it did stop at Footfalls this turn.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's up to Footfalls this turn,
yeah.
Drew a card, effectively gained 6 life because the Fury can't swing.
Yep.
And now Brickman has to spend his entire turn replaying Fury.
Yeah, that seems so good.
And I think he really does have to spend this turn. You might have other game actions, other things you might want to
You can't
resolve
let him untap
here.
with
You
the
can't
fairy.
let him untap with the mana and be able to back up Teferi with counter spells.
Here it is,
Yeah.
Fury.
I think that was just some posturing. Got to land in a Violent Outburst in hand. There's no no other thing you would do there.
Ragavan dead draw.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward.
Called. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's really good.
It is. He still has an Archmage Charm left, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yep, Archmage Charm Ragavan. Ooh, Brazen Borrower.
Yep.
Attack Violent Outburst. There we go. I think Brazen Borrower was off the top, right? Yeah.
Yep, Borrower was off the top. He only had the Violent Outburst in hand.
It's crazy how many times we've seen the specific combination of Fury and Violent Outburst be lethal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too uncommon of a thing to do in the Footfalls deck because, your opponent plays 1 Chalkland or 1 Thoughtseize and, a single Outburst can then take your clock down from 3 turns of swing with your 4/4s to 2 turns.
It's huge.
But, I mean, on Fury, I guess you get double value out of it, right?
Yeah.
8 damage is a lot.
That was a really good top deck.
That was a good top
Amato
deck.
was stabilizing.
He was really close to stabilizing. He's not completely out of it yet.
Oh, for sure.
Because
He's Brazen Borrower.
right, Brazen Borrower just, I guess there was only the Archmage Charm lines up against the Rhinos coming down off suspend. There's only 1 more left in the deck, so you're really, really close to stabilizing.
Amato did get stuck on 2 in that game, too.
He did get stuck on 2.
He was fighting.
Yeah. Stuck on 2 and got his Stoneforge Mystic removed. And not even in, if you get your Stoneforge Mystic removed there, you'd at least rather have it be in sort of a profitable way. Pitch Cast of Fury. It was...
Well, it looked like...
It was a Stomp or
Brickman
a Fire Ice.
took out... I think it was Fire. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like Brickman's taking out the Bone Crusher Giants and putting in some Disputes.
Mm-hmm.
Seems good.
I mean, there are some good targets here for Bone Crusher Giant.
Yeah.
There are Ragavans and Stoneforge Mystic, but...
To be fair, he didn't see
Mystical-
Ragavan, so...
Yeah, well, you know, right?
Yeah, you know.
Like, you don't see Stoneforge Mystic and Red Lands and not...
But what about Wear and Tear in the
Wear and Tear.
sideboard? Whoa. Your prismatic endings.
Yeah, but there's a there's a difference between, you see a Rogran Triome and maybe another red lands to, oh, my opponent's deck has this Triome, but also Sulfur Falls and Steam Vents and Spire Bluff Canal. Yeah.
Oh, I think Amato's playing your favorite planes, the lightning planes or whatever. Oh. Ooh.
It's good. I don't love it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We were going through some bulk today and we saw some Odyssey stuff, and he found a bunch of forest and planes I was just gonna put in the block box to ship away, and I gave a couple to him.
Yeah.
So he was a happy little boy.
Cool. And it's a good planes art. It's not my personal favorite. I think I've already given the shill on Dragon's Maze release promo.
Oh, yep.
The only basic
Stamps.
land with the date stamp.
That's cool. That is super cool. I didn't know that existed until you told me about
Mhm.
it. That's basically an oddity too. So like, I
Right.
want those.
And the other one that I use a lot is I forget the collector number, but it's the onslaught planes with like the tree on the left side.
Mhm.
Not a massive fan of it, but I use it because it matches my favorite island of all time.
Ooh.
It's just sort of my favorite planes out of Onslaught.
Mhm.
The island with a little lighthouse on it.
Oh,
Super
okay.
cool.
Ooh,
Dovin's Veto's
Veto's
good pick.
really good. Stoneforge. Finding Cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
Forcing you to have the answer.
I enforce Brickman to have the answer, but also Batterskull isn't good here.
Yeah.
I mean, if your opponent kills your Stoneforge Mystic and you make 3 more land drops and cast a Batterskull, you might be incentivized to go get Batterskull if that is something that's still going to be good, but Batterskull's not good anymore by that point.
Yeah. Fury. Getting rid of Violent Outburst.
It's still a pretty good interaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got 2 cards out of the hand.
Trust the Batterskull.
Oh, wow. You got 2 cards out of the hand. You got a Cascade Spell out of the hand.
Yeah,
Might
threat for
have
later.
been Justin's only Cascade. Not totally sure.
I'm not positive either.
There's at least a Force and a Foothills in there. Can't make out the other cards. I mean, Amato is perfectly fine sitting back, making some land drops here. He has the Dovin's Veto. He's got some insurance. There's an Archmage Charm. Pretty reasonable spots.
Does he have any lands in hand, or are the odds this Archmage Charm just draws 2 cards?
It's real tough to put yourself on.
Yeah.
It's real tough to lock yourself into drawing 2 cards here, because if you use that Archmage Charm and there's a Violent Outburst and Footfalls Resolves,
Feels bad.
Feels really bad, especially when.
Plus, he's just a naturally drawable lands.
Yeah, it just missed you off
Doesn't
the top.
matter.
Amato's that good. At this point now, I wouldn't be shocked if, maybe this turn you can Archmage Charm, draw 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Snapcaster a little bit of backup. Might want to make a 5th land drop first, just so that you can hold up Dovin's Veto through that process.
Yeah.
But
Some draw-go magic.
yeah,
And Amato not missing land drops. That's the best way to do draw-go
super
magic.
powerful.
He's so good. Force of negation up. Tapping the trial. There's a Teferi for Brickman.
It's going to force a little bit of action here.
I think, is that, what is that? Before, oh, that's a Brazen Power. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Teferi.
I kind of like using. I almost like using Veto here.
I like Vino.
Going for Charm. Both have their merits. I think walking your.
Ooh,
are we
Brickman
gonna
has a
are we gonna
Mystical
see
Dispute?
Mystical Dispute? Yeah, walking
Feels bad.
Mystical Dispute in here seems.
Oh, that ice
rough.
was so good for Brickman. If there is a Mystical Dispute, I mean, can't see why he would fetch without one, but.
Don't think it makes a ton of difference what land you get here. There's no spreading seas in the Stoneforge Mystic and Ragavan style blue-white deck.
Mystical Dispute. So might have a prismatic ending in hand at least.
Do not think so.
Well, he still has the Snapcaster, right?
Yeah, Snapcaster.
Feels bad, I mean, but...
You know, put a little bit of pressure on Teferi, but 5 loyalty is a lot of loyalty.
Oh, I thought he had a... Oh, no, that's a Stoneforge. I thought there was a prismatic ending in the graveyard. That's
No,
just
that's a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah. Just gonna slam a Batter Skull.
Spatter Skull's going to get probably Germ Token bounced.
Yeah.
Not a great feeling.
Bounce the Germ. Ooh, is that a Prismari command to draw?
Prismari command.
Charlotte's Agent. Line at our Rhinos. God, Mystical Dispute just coming in. So good.
Right.
It's so good.
I mean, in some of these controlling matchups, the difference between having just Force and having another... Just the existence of another 3-mana face value, look, don't cascade into me, piece of interaction on the stack is just absurd.
Sort of Feast and Famine. That's every piece of equipment for Amato.
Free piece of equipment, but I don't think he's going to be able to stick a creature in play to start suiting him up.
You get a Snap Steal a Rhino? That's something.
Steal a Rhino exists.
Like, I don't hate it with all the equipment spells. Like, Feast and Famine, if you hit once. All of Brickman's creatures are green. Like, I like it, but... Like, it still doesn't feel great, but, yeah.
He's going for Archmage's Charm here.
Try to steal a Rhino. Force of Negation. Pitch Brazen Borrower.
Honestly, the other play I don't hate here, there's a world where... Okay, Amato didn't have another land. If there's another land there, I almost want to suit up the Snapcaster with the Batter Skull.
Yeah,
as bad as that is, right? Like, if you've got a sword coming down next turn, even just, face up, that stalls everything out.
Prismari commanded.
Now, obviously, Prismari command blows that whole thing out of the water, but...
But Amato doesn't know it's there. Do you let him untap? Looks like no. Yep. Shock Shatter. Okay, we're done.
Scooping it up.
Okay. So
there's no Supreme Verdicts in the deck for Amato to draw swords.
Yep. So, Brickman wins the event.
Yeah, somehow Brickman keeps winning.
Yeah. Champion.
Champion.
That's our champion.
I'll show a little respect.
But thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week.